Welcome to Standard 6 Supplementary Reader Term 2 Unit 2 Gulliver's Travels Part 1. The author of the story was Jonathan Swift. He was an Anglo-Irish satirist, essayist, poet and cleric. Swift is remembered for works such as A Tale of a Tub, An Argument Against Abolishing Christianity, Gulliver's Travels, 1726, and A Modest Proposal. He is regarded by the Encyclopedia Britannica as the foremost prose satirist in the English language, and is less well known for his poetry. He originally published all his works under pseudonyms such as Lemuel Gulliver, Isaac Bickerstaff, M.B. Drapier, or anonymously. His deadpan, ironic writing style, particularly in A Modest Proposal, has led to such starry being subsequently termed Swiftian. Yes, Jonathan Swift was the author of Gulliver's Travel. He was written this story on 1726. So, in Gulliver's Travels, Gulliver, a ship's doctor, took a job on a ship that was going on a long voyage. The voyage started well soon. So, Gulliver happily said goodbye to his family. His only passion was he traveled throughout the world in the sea. So he felt like the happiest man in the world. So the voyage started well, but soon things changed dramatically. The ship got caught in a violent storm and was thrown off, of course. Then it hit a rock and broke up completely. A storm hit the ship. 6 of the crew members, including Gulliver, got into a small boat and rowed until they were overturned by a big wave which came up suddenly. Gulliver was a good swimmer and he managed to swim till he reached land. So the big wave which came up suddenly, so the boat overturned into the sea. Gulliver was a good swimmer and he managed to swim until he reached land. The coast appeared strange and lonely. Gulliver dragged himself along the shore. He looked for some people or houses, but there was no sign of life. Hungry and exhausted, he fell on a patch of grass and fell into a deep sleep. When Gulliver woke up, he was lying on his back and the sun was in his face. When he tried to get up, he found himself unable to sit up or move at all. Terrified and puzzled, he tried to turn his head. He found his arms and legs were securely tied and slender strings on each side and attached to pegs fixed on the ground. His hair, which was long and thick, was similarly tied down. He felt something moving along his body, almost up to his chin. To his surprise, he saw a human being not 6 inches high, with a bow and arrow in his hands and a quiver at his back. Gulliver learned that these creatures were called Lilliputians. Startled by his sight, Gulliver cried out and soon managed to free his left arm. The frightened Lilliputians fired dozens of tiny arrows into his hand, face, and body until he once again lay down calmly. The Lilliputians then built a stage to Gulliver side that was about a foot and a half tall, upon which an obviously important person stood and made a 10-minute speech to Gulliver in a language he could not understand. Yes, he was the king of Lilliputians. By now, Gulliver was really hungry. With gestures, he signaled to the little people that he wanted food and drink. The Lilliputians first got Gulliver to promise to behave himself and then promised to get him some food. So the Lilliputians first got Gulliver to promise to behave himself and then promised to get him some food. They soon brought baskets of meat and several loaves of bread, which he ate 3 at a time because they were so tiny. The Lilliputians also brought 2 barrels of drink, which he enjoyed, even though the barrels were very smaller than a glass. Every day, a procession of people used to fill the bowl with the food for the Gulliver. Gulliver was tempted as he lay on the ground to take up 50 of small creatures on his hand and crush them, but he did not want to pricked with arrows again, and he had promised to behave in exchange for good treatment. After he had eaten, Gulliver promptly fell asleep because his drink had a sleeping drug in it. After he had eaten, Gulliver promptly fell asleep because his drink had a sleeping drug in it. They set about transporting Gulliver to the capital. They used a large platform with 22 wheels pulled by dozens of 4.5-inch horses. They somehow managed to put him on the platform and dragged Gulliver down the road to the city. Suddenly, Gulliver woke up when the vehicle stopped. 2 or 3 curious young Lilliputians wanted to see how Gulliver looked when asleep. They climbed up into the engine and, advancing very softly to his face, put the sharp end of their half-pike into his left nostrils. This tickled Gulliver's nose like a straw and made him sneeze. As they started moving again, Gulliver saw that more than 100,000 Lilliputians had come out to see the strange giant. It was a carnival atmosphere, and the Lilliputians seemed to be enjoying themselves, much to Gulliver's amusement. Finally, they arrived at the Emperor's palace. The Emperor was there to receive Gulliver. Finally, Gulliver reached the Emperor's palace. This was the end of the first section. Thanks for listening. Thank you, children.